Anti-gay attorneys took a beating before the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals last week, trying and failing to defend marriage bans before a panel of hostile judges. Now all eyes are on the Supreme Court to see which cases they'll take up in their fall session. There's another major marriage argument coming up in a few days, and the National Organization for Marriage still isn't giving up in Oregon, despite having lost months ago. For the American Foundation for Equal Rights, I'm Matt Baum, and welcome to Marriage News Watch for September 1st, 2014. It was a rough day in court for opponents of marriage equality. Judges at the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals directed intensely skeptical questions to lawyers defending marriage bans for Wisconsin and Indiana. At one point, Reagan-appointed Judge Richard Posner called the arguments against equality ridiculous, pathetic, and absurd. Following those arguments, the next major legal milestone is next Monday on September 8th. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals will hear argument in 3 states, Nevada, Idaho, and Hawaii. A ruling from the Seventh Circuit could come at any time, and the Ninth Circuit could rule soon as well. From there, the parties could petition the U.S. Supreme Court. 3 states have already begun the process of petitioning the Supreme Court. Utah, Virginia, and Oklahoma will all have marriage cases before the court when the justices return from vacation on September 29th. There's no telling when the justices will decide which cases they'll take or which cases they'll hear. Some courts are handling that vague timeline by simply putting marriage litigation on hold. A North Carolina court has paused litigation there pending a final decision in Avery's Virginia case, which is in the same circuit. But a Florida court has rejected an attempt by Attorney General Pam Bondi to halt marriage lawsuits, which means multiple cases will now proceed in state and federal court. Also last week, the National Organization for Marriage suffered yet another setback. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the decision that the organization has no standing to defend Oregon's marriage ban, which was overturned last May. NOM had continued their litigation despite being shut out of the case by a lower court. Now that they've lost yet another appeal, they could ask the Ninth Circuit to reconsider or petition the U.S. Supreme Court for review. Those are the headlines. Subscribe here on YouTube for more on all these stories. For the American Foundation for Equal Rights, I'm Matt Baum. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.